Mr. Mockney Back Road Ministry live in Iraq from the Dodge Ram Studios. Troubling day to day, but God leads us through troubling days. We always learn. It's never a troubling day as long as you're woke and in action. I want to talk about my man Quincy Jones. Quincy, age 84. I guess his time is coming to an end. But Quincy decided in an interview that he recently did, I believe it was with TMZ, that he was going to go off about everything that's been going on. It's kind of funny that Quincy would do this. So Quincy, starts his dream attack. He used to date Ivanka Trump, all this crazy crap. Goes in on Richard Pryor. Now, Quincy goes in on Richard Pryor, talking about Richard Pryor's bisexuality. And a lot of people don't know that Richard Pryor was a bisexual. Yes, Richard Pryor was a bisexual. If you see his first comedy stand-up movie that he did, it was the first one he did. He's very nervous in it. But he talks about homosexuality a lot. And people thought that Rich was joking when he talked about having sex with homosexuals and, the first time he had sex with one. No, those were really, really serious things. And that's the thing that made Richard Pryor such a great comedian. He never feared telling you about him. He never feared about those things. Some people have the fear of opening up and being honest about what's going on. And Richard Pryor never had that fear. He put a lot of people out. He talked about himself and other people. I won't get so deep into it. But if you watch some of those earlier skits when he's really raw, and we're talking about a little bit before, right before, along in that period before he set himself on fire, he really is raw. He really is raw. He's talking about a lot of, things regarding him. And that's a piece that he talks about a lot. So that was never a mystery to the world. I don't know why Quincy, drops that. He drops that him and Marlon Brando, that Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando were lovers. Okay, that's Hollywood, as we call it, Hollyweird. And unfortunately, there's a lot of folks in Hollyweird that's guilty of that, or they don't talk about their sexuality, but that's what it is anyway. So Quincy's not dropping any top secret information right there. Excuse me. But Quincy does go in on Michael Jackson, and this is what I didn't appreciate from Quincy Jones. He goes in talking about Michael Jackson and how Michael Jackson stole Donna Summer's work in the production on an album that Quincy Jones produced. Remember that Quincy Jones produced the Thriller album, so he talks about certain hooks that Mike took and added it to Billie Jean and stuff like that. Quincy Jones produced the album. So if a hook was taken, Quincy Jones is the producer. He's the guy who grabs the hook. So going in on Mike, talking about Mike is taking stuff, both of you guys are sitting back doing the album. So if something was taken from Donna Summer, who took it from Donna Summer? So throwing that on Mike like that, I didn't really like that move by Quincy. I really didn't like that move when you the producer. You didn't produce this album. So what excerpts should be taken, what choruses have been stolen. You know how to redo things better than anybody else. So in music, there's a lot of grabbing and taking. We all do it. I'm an artist myself. We all grab and take from each other. And some of us are honest with it. We're not Jay-Z, who takes a whole person's song and they act like it's his. We don't do any crap like that. But some, there's a lot of grabbing and taking because there's a lot of respect that you have for different artists. And you might like something that they did, and you might take it, and you might make a song out of it. I mean, that's just out of respect for that artist and respect for, the way he might have put a line down, and a line was so powerful. Like, man, I gotta take this line and make a great song out of it. Or I gotta take this instrumental piece and grab it and add it to what I'm trying to do. So it happens all the time, but for Quincy to sit there and say Michael is greedy, Michael had a lot of psychological problems, and Quincy Jones is part of those psychological problems. Quincy Jones, ladies and gentlemen, is a pedophile. Quincy Jones has been a pedophile for years. I want you to go back and watch some of those YouTube videos of him and Michael Jackson early on with that Thriller album, sitting there, and it's very uncomfortable to kind of watch that because you can tell something went down. I want you to watch Quincy Jones with other child stars. He's got a couple of more child star videos on there where he's sitting, and it's very uncomfortable to watch. But Quincy Jones is a pedophile. Quincy Jones screwed up Tevin Campbell. He messed that boy up like that. And Quincy just sit there and act like he's the God of gods and then he's done the wrong. It's BS. There's an old article where Tupac talks about Quincy Jones propositioning him, and this is right when Tupac was dating Quincy Jones' daughter, wanted to marry the young lady, but Quincy Jones propositions Tupac Shakur and tells Tupac he can marry his daughter, but he would have to have sex with him. And this is something that came out of Tupac's mouth, and he put it in an article that Quincy Jones propositioned him to have sex with him in order to be with his daughter. So Quincy sitting there acting like he's innocent of any crime. It's a bunch of BS. Quincy Jones is just as dirty as anybody else in Hollywood, and especially in that music scene. He's one of the dirtiest players in the game. He's messed up a lot of artists, but he'll sit there and try to play innocent as though he's done nothing. So Quincy, before you try to throw a stone at anybody, you need to start, nobody can throw a stone at anybody. Nobody can pick up and throw a stone. So you're not free of sin, just like other folks ain't free of sin. You just as dirty as anybody else. So check out old YouTube videos of Quincy interacting with Mike, Quincy interacting with young boys, young musical stars, and you'll see what I'm talking about with Quincy Jones. It's the Mock D, peace and hair grease.